Public Facilities Commission. Welcome.
Good morning, Commissioners. Before us today, we have the Public Facilities Department, and before we begin with that agenda, we have a matter of business to take care of. In front of you are the meeting minutes for the Public Facilities Department from our last meeting on July 18th, 2018. In addition, before you are meeting minutes for the Department of Neighborhood Development on July 18th, 2018. Is there a motion to approve these minutes?
Make a motion to approve the minutes.
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
Thank you. The minutes are so approved. Moving forward, before us today is the Public Facilities Department with the Director, Patricia Lyons, and also with the first vote concerns Evan Brinkman, who's a design review architect with the Public Facilities Department. This first vote is a request to award contracts to various designers to provide design review consulting services for projects involving various architectural and/or engineering disciplines. The design review services will be performed on an as-needed basis for individual projects from July 1st, 2018 through June 30th, 2023. As you can see on the agenda, the contracts are broken out into price amounts. The contract price for $250,000 is identified as a not to exceed per contract for a 5-year period for general architecture, cost estimating, project scheduling, and phasing services. It also includes engineering services for civil, electrical, mechanical, plumbing, and structural. In addition, on the agenda is a contract price denoting $125,000 as a not to exceed per contract amount for a 5-year period for landscape architecture, building code review, fire safety, and engineering services for acoustical, commissioning, elevator, and environmental. And the last category is marine services. Evan, if you would please present your vote request.
Good morning, Commissioners. I'm here before you to request approval to award fiscal year 19 to 23 design review consulting services contracts. The design review consulting services contracts are on-call contracts for peer review services for city projects. The scope of work includes peer review of capital-funded projects in all phases of planning, design, and construction at various facilities and sites on an as-needed project-by-project basis. The design review consulting services cover the 16 architectural and engineering categories previously introduced to the Commission for this vote request. The design review consulting services were publicly procured pursuant to Mass General Laws, Chapter 7C, requirements for design services. The advertisement appeared in the City Record and in the Boston Globe on April 30th, 2018, and in the Central Register on May 2nd, 2018. 38 statements of qualifications were received from design firms on May 24th, 2018. A selection committee comprised of 3 members of the Public Facilities Department staff reviewed and evaluated the SOQs on June 20th, 2018 against a published set of criteria. The selection committee determined 33 of the SOQs were submitted by qualified design firms. Of importance, several design firms applied for multiple categories of work. The selection committee based its recommendation for contract award on the evaluation of each firm's demonstrated experience with design review of public buildings in Massachusetts, including an evaluation of example design review comments. The vote request before you is to award 33 individual contracts based on past usage by the city. 22 of the contracts have an individual not to exceed value of $250,000. And 11 contracts have an individual not to exceed value of $125,000. Each contract is recommended for a 5-year period. These contracts are requested to be executed with the respective not to exceed limit, but the contracts will be encumbered as projects are funded by the city's Office of Budget Management and approved to move forward on a project-by-project basis. Of the 22 design firms recommended for contract award, 6 are new to doing design review for the city. In addition, of the 22 design firms, 1 is a minority-owned business enterprise, 1 is a minority and women-owned business enterprise, 2 are women-owned business enterprises, and 1 is a veteran-owned business enterprise. 7 design review services contracts in total are recommended for those MBE, WBE, and VBE firms. For the foregoing reasons, I request your approval to award the aforementioned design review consulting services contracts. Thank you. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Evan. Any questions from the committee?
Can you talk a little bit about why it's beneficial to have a 5-year window as opposed to a different term?
That's a good question. I think it provides some continuity with the firms that we use. And it also just partly this process is long, you know, acquiring the contracts, getting the people on board, and, you know, reaching out to multiple firms and getting them to respond can take a lot of time. So I think, you know, like the last time we had we couldn't get civil engineering on board. So even though it was a 3-year contract, it took 18 months to get them on board. So then they were really only servicing the city for 18 months before we go out and advertise again. So I think the main reason is the continuity and the time it takes to just procure the firms.
Thank you. Make a motion that we approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you, Evan.
Thank
Thank
you.
you
Vote
very
number
much.
1 is approved. Is there a motion to adjourn this portion of the meeting?
I make a motion that we adjourn this portion of the meeting.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
This meeting is adjourned.